Greetings from Dave and Carol's Country Oasis out here in East Texas, east side of Texas. I wanted to talk to you today about this garden. I was doing it and getting ready for my garden, and I got to thinking, man, I could use this as a good message, maybe a demonstration. As you can see, all of this out here is really weeded. I didn't clean it up from last year. I let it because, man, it was late, and we just took so many things came up, and I wasn't able to go ahead and get it. And so I decided I'd wait until this year. This is the first opportunity we've had and to clean it up, because I got to, but I can't. But as you can see, there's a lot of things here. I could pretend that there's nothing wrong with this and go ahead and just plant my seeds. But as anybody knows, if you have a whole bunch of clutter in your garden like this, especially from leftover stuff that you still have in your past, if you have a whole bunch of past and you keep bringing it up and you try to throw seeds out there like this that you're not letting go of, you're not letting go of that past, and you keep throwing seeds out there, I guarantee you, your garden's not gonna produce. And there's other things that's happening here. As you can see, look at this. Come on over here. As you can see, there's these weeds here. Now, I don't know what they're very invasive. As you can see, I don't know if you can tell on that, but I want you to see the root of that. That's good 6 inches down in the ground. Okay, now what this weed is, I have no idea. But it's in my garden, and I didn't plant this. This is one of those weeds that popped up. And then as you can see here, there's stuff here that I didn't plant. I did not plant this stuff here. Where it come from? Birds brought it in. Bird seeds, maybe, I don't know. I don't know if I did or not. I know I can't plant that. Here's this one. I don't know what that is, but you can see it looks pretty on the end. It's got a pretty flower on it, but it's a weed, and it's in the garden. You can't plant something in the garden until that's gone. The weeds are there, but if you can see here, and it doesn't take, in order to get these out, these weeds, you have to reach down and literally pull them out. And some of them don't come out too easy because of the root that's there. Now you can say, well, I ain't got time, I'll just go ahead and till it. Well, I want to tell you, if you don't get that root and it breaks off, and I was trying to show you one that would break off. I got the roots on that too. That's a good thing. But some of them break off as you're going because they're brittle. And the root is still in the ground. Well, that root is still alive. Now you say, well, they look dead. Yeah, but what about these seeds right there? That's all kind of seeds. Those little bitty things, if you can get up close there and you can see, there's a whole bunch of seeds on there. Right there, they'll fill up your garden. Right there, there's these things. So now let's say I'm just gonna go ahead and clean this out. Pick these up and kind of clean up my past. Kind of get rid of my past. I'm going to forget my past. I'm going to say, well, I'm just going to pick it up and I'm going to get rid of my past. I'm going to clean it out and do that. I'm going to take this and I'll just clean out my past. I'm going to get rid of it. I'm not going to have any more of my past. Now, I'm getting rid of it. The problem with that is I can throw it over there. And my thought is with that, if I don't get the weeds, it still doesn't make a difference. I can say, well, what's the weeds? Let's say this is my past. This is yesterday. These are things I keep bringing up in my mind. How much I failed. Oh man, I stumbled there. I done it again. Or somebody done me wrong. Whatever it is, all of these things could be anything to do with my past that I am holding on to. Unforgiveness is a good one. Unforgiveness, boy, it'll. I didn't remember what he said about the root of bitterness. You know, you can say, well, that sounds like a weed. It is, kind of, I guess, but more than this, the weed is what? What is the weed? What gets in my way? Fear is a weed. Did you know that? Afraid I'm going to be a failure again. Afraid that I'm going to do something wrong again. Afraid that if I step out in faith, something's going to falter. Let's say if I don't, if I stumble, I look at this and I'm overwhelmed. I look at this and I'm overwhelmed by what is, by what is. Man, I look and I say, my gosh, what am I going to do? This is just so much. How am I going to take this? And what am I going to do with it? How am I going to get this cleared? Well, you do one thing at a time. One thing at a time. You begin to take one out. Maybe there's some things happen, and you pull them, and you just keep working at it. And sometimes it falls apart for you. What you do? See this here? My this is a tomato cage, by the way, but it falls apart, and the thing breaks that I'm working on. And you feel like, oh my gosh, I done more destruction than I should have. I mean, now what am I going to do? It just, well, you just keep going. You keep going. It won't work until you do. See, this is not stopping me from growing in my garden. It just means I broke something on the way there. This can be replaced. My thoughts, my feelings, those things that are here, but I got to learn to let go of what I established in the ground myself. I put there. What are some of the things I put there? Oh man, I erred. I thought I'd done something. And in other words, I would do something that was contrary, that wouldn't help me. I made a decision. And I established my path on that decision. And it turned out to be a wrong decision. I shouldn't have said that. And I put a faulty thing inside that. I made a faulty decision. But it still doesn't stop me from being able to pick up myself and go ahead and do this. I can haul this stuff out. But when we get through, if we have not cleaned our garden, in other words, there's some telling you, and there's messages out there, all we got to do is just think it clean. Think it clean. But I got news for you. If I laid that fertilizer over there, that's what that is mushroom compost. It's a compost mixture. If I laid that out of here, I want to tell you, just throwed it out here and went ahead without taking these weeds up, you know what would grow? The weeds. The weeds. But if I get all this out of here and I begin to work on my faith, work on my patience, work on believing, working on forgiveness, working on getting past my past and laying it aside and saying, Lord, I need you. I tell you, my garden will get cleaned out. My garden will start to get cleaned out. And pretty soon, I'm going to, eventually, once we get all this done, I'll take a picture of it and post it on Bill, and you can see the difference side by side. But the truth is, there's nothing going to get done until you get down there, and sometimes you have to get on your knees. Sometimes you have to be willing to give of yourself. And if you don't think prayer works, oh, listen, I want to tell you, prayer does work. There's a lot of times I get tired out here doing this, but the benefits outweigh. Do you want to find happiness? Do you want to find joy? You can't find happiness in this, in looking at it. The weeds choke you. You can't find peace in your life when the weeds are choking you. You can't find those things inside you because you're always agitated and upset. And until you get rid of that hurt, until you get rid of, lay it down, until you lay down what you were in the past, until everything is renewed in the spirit of your mind. Begin to look for the joy of the Lord. Begin to look for that goodness and mercy. You're not getting rid of it so you can make God happy. You're getting rid of it so you can become happy. He gave you a way out. He made a pathway for you to walk, and that's putting on the mind of Christ. Walking in righteousness, walking in holiness. I'm not talking about rules. I'm talking about living according to life. Walking in a place that brings forth an abundance out of your heart. A heart of hope, a heart of joy. Your life will be transformed if you can understand the principle of making a garden in your heart. You have to clean out the past. You have to lay it down, and you have to be willing to look at yourself in the mirror and say, well, Lord, create in me a clean heart, Lord. Wash me with the washing of the water of the Word. Make my mind. Fill me with your love. Show me how to love. Show me how to experience your love. Show me how to walk in your spirit of your anointing. Fill me with your power. Fill me with your love. Fill me with your goodness. And Lord, help me to stand tall and put on the mind of Christ. And all of a sudden you'll look back and you'll see you have a good garden. You'll see a bountiful garden come forth out of that which you have. God bless. Thank you for taking the time to listen. I pray this video blesses you. Amen.